In the original story, a desperate princess begs her cold-hearted father for a single drop of affection. She asks if he will ever look at her with warmth. But Emperor Claude dismisses her with absolute contempt. This tragic princess, Athanasia, met a cruel and lonely end at the hands of her own father. But suddenly, a woman wakes up inside the body of a newborn baby. She quickly realizes she has reincarnated into Lovely Princess, a romance novel she read in her past life. To her absolute horror, she is now Athanasia, the very princess destined for execution, having died in her previous life from an overdose of sleeping pills in the freezing cold. She cannot believe she has been reborn as an outcast princess hated by everyone. Living in the neglected Ruby Palace, baby Athi recalls the story's tragic history. Her mother, Diana, a beautiful dancer, died after giving birth to her, prompting the ruthless Emperor Claude to massacre everyone in the palace. Her mother named her Athanasia, meaning immortal, a sacred title reserved for the imperial heir. Yet in the novel, Claude executes Athanasia at age 18 after she is framed for poisoning her half-sister, Jeanette. Athi vows to survive. Her original strategy, Plan A, is simple: stay completely hidden from Claude, hoard gold, and escape the palace before turning 18. She begins charming her kind nanny, Lillian York, and the palace maids. Eating well and exercising in her crib, Athi prepares for her future escape fund. One day, Lily shows her a picture of her father, Emperor Claude de Algerobelia. Hearing his name fills Athi with pure dread. In the book, Claude adores his second daughter, Jeanette, while framing and executing Athanasia without a shred of guilt. Realizing her impending doom, baby Athi bursts into tears, wishing she were anyone else. 5 years pass, Athi grows into an adorable young girl, using her cute charms to win over the maids and score sweet treats like chocolate. Noticeably, greedy servants have been stealing jewels from the neglected palace. Athi takes advantage of the situation by hiding her own stash of gold and jewels under her dress. While washing chocolate off her hands at a fountain, Athi gazes at her reflection. She possesses rare jeweled blue eyes, the unmistakable mark of imperial royal blood. Searching for a safe place to hide her stolen riches, she stumbles upon a quiet, grand palace corridor filled with golden angel statues. Believing the place is completely abandoned, she marks it as her secret treasure hideout. Back at Ruby Palace, Athi accidentally reveals she can write, causing Lily and the maids to praise her as a prodigy. This leads to unwanted early education, making Athi panic about drawing attention to herself. Determined to secure her escape fund, 5-year-old Athi ties heavy bags of gold trinkets around her waist under her skirt. She sneaks out of Ruby Palace and hurries toward her secret hideout in the grand hallway. Just as she inspects the golden statues, she freezes in absolute terror. Bumping right into her is a tall, intimidating man with glowing jeweled eyes, Emperor Claude. Startled, Athi drops her bags, spilling gold and gems all over the marble floor right at Claude's feet. Athi recognizes him instantly and trembles in fear. Meeting him 4 years earlier than in the novel's original timeline, she fears immediate execution. Claude glares at her, remembering her mother Diana and her name, Athanasia. He knows her name signifies the official heir to the throne, a name he himself was denied as a concubine's son who seized power by force. Claude lifts the heavy, chubby 5-year-old in the air and casually comments on her weight. Instead of killing her on the spot, Claude orders his royal guard, Felix, to bring Athi inside for tea. Sitting across from her terrifying father in his luxurious room, Athi is paralyzed with fear. Knowing Claude hates her grand name, she obeys his veiled threat to eat the cake so the cook won't be punished. When Claude asks who taught her manners, Athi mentions Lily. Claude recalls how Lillian York boldly stepped forward 5 years ago to raise the baby. Coldly, Claude remarks that only 2 people ever survived crossing him, Diana and Lily. Athi realizes this tea party is a deadly test to decide whether she lives or dies. Seeing that being timid and formal bores Claude, Athi makes a desperate gamble. She looks at him with bright, innocent eyes and chirps, "Papa." The unexpected word stuns Claude. Felix carries a trembling Athi back to Ruby Palace, where he delivers shocking news. Emperor Claude will visit Princess Athanasia soon and orders that she be treated as a proper princess. Plan A has completely failed. Athi has drawn the Emperor's full attention. Switching to Plan B, she decides to gather even more wealth and escape before age 18. Suddenly, Claude summons her to join him for a boat ride on the palace lake. Forced to play the loving daughter, Athi smiles sweetly and agrees. Sitting on the boat next to her terrifying father while holding her breath in sheer exhaustion, Athanasia finds herself on a luxurious floating boat with her terrifying father, Emperor Claude. To stay on his good side, she showers him with cute compliments about his golden hair. But Claude instantly drops a bomb. He knows about the secret jewel stash she hid, leaving her sweating in panic. Trying to distract herself, Athi notices a mesmerizing blue lotus glowing in the water. She leans over the edge to touch it, but suddenly loses her balance and plummets into the lake. As she flails underwater, trapped by magical roots, Claude just stares down at her with dead, unbothered eyes. After being dragged ashore, Claude cold-heartedly orders his guard to teach her how to swim so she doesn't embarrass the royal family by drowning. Traumatized and sick with a fever, Athi swears vengeance against her psychopath father. The next morning, she wakes up to find a massive army of maids and a handsome knight, Sir Felix Robin, appointed as her personal bodyguard. Felix informs her that Claude has requested her presence for dinner. Felix carries her all the way to the Emperor's private quarters and mischievously shoves her right into Claude's bedroom. Wandering inside the gold-covered room, Athi spots Claude sleeping soundly on the sofa. Fueled by lingering rage from the lake incident, she raises her tiny fists to punch his face. But as she swings, her foot slips, and a hard piece of candy bounces right off Claude's head. In sheer panic, Athi aggressively rubs his chest and starts singing a frantic lullaby to pretend she was just putting him to sleep. Claude wakes up surprisingly calm and takes her to dinner. At the table, Athi struggles with her silverware and drops her fork, prompting Claude to order proper noble etiquette lessons for her immediately. Claude shifts their daily tea time to 10 in the morning, forcing Athi to greet him every single day. During tea, Athi takes a sip of lip tea and happily exclaims that it feels like flowers are blooming in her mouth. Felix immediately notes that her late mother, Lady Diana, used to say those exact same words. The room goes dead silent as Claude's expression darkens, coldly dismissing Felix. Back in her room, Athi vents by drawing stick figures of herself kicking Claude. Curious about her mother, she asks her maid Lily, who reveals Diana had glowing platinum hair just like Athi. Felix offers to ask Claude for a magical recording stone of Diana. But Athi breaks down in a panic, screaming that Claude will hate her if she brings up her mother. Realizing she startled Felix, Athi asks for a piggyback ride to smooth things over. On their way to the audience chamber, they run into Duke Roger Alpheus, a manipulative noble whom Athi hilariously calls Mr. Whitey, while offering him a lollipop like a dog. To everyone's shock, Claude witnesses this and actually chuckles. Seeing Athi's influence, Duke Alpheus tries to scheme by suggesting his niece, Jeanette, as Athi's companion. But Claude shuts him down, scooping Athi up like a sack of grain and dropping her onto soft cushions behind his throne. Claude reveals he suffers from severe insomnia and demands Athi sing her bad dream lullaby for him again. Athi passionately sings until Claude falls fast asleep, even pulling his hair to make sure he's truly out. Felix explains that Claude only feels safe enough to rest around Athi. Overcome with emotion, Athi dramatically wishes that Claude won't execute her when she turns 18. And Claude softly promises her wish will come true. Later, when Duke Alpheus pushes again to bring Jeanette as a friend, Athi flexes her high-level adult intellect by spouting complex philosophy and foreign imperial languages, utterly humiliating the Duke and proving she is way too smart for his little political trap. While exploring the garden, little Athanasia stumbles upon an adorable, dark-furred creature hiding in the bushes. But as she reaches out to grab it, she accidentally pulls the hair of a mysterious stranger taking a nap in the grass. A long-haired young man opens his dark eyes, demanding she let go. Athi is completely stunned by his otherworldly beauty. The strange guy casually casts magical bubbles into the air to amuse her. But as Athi pops them, she suddenly feels breathless as her strength drains away. Before things get worse, the young magician snatches the little creature from her hands and threatens to end it. Athi bravely snatches the pet back, refusing to let him harm her new friend. The magician grabs Athi's face, his eyes glowing red as he realizes she possesses rare imperial jeweled eyes and an immense pool of magical energy. He explains that this creature, named Raven, is actually a holy beast born directly from her own excessive mana. He casually threatens to eat Raven to replenish his own energy, prompting Athi to frantically fight him off to protect her pet. Introducing himself as Lucas, the powerful sorcerer leaves her with a sinister smile. Back at the palace, Athi happily cares for Raven, unaware of the danger brewing inside her body. When she visits her father, Emperor Claude awkwardly picks her up by her clothes like a sack of laundry. Her bodyguard Felix steps in to demonstrate how to hold a child properly. But as Claude tries to hold her, Athi spots a bug on his face and accidentally slaps the Emperor right across the cheek. Panicking for her life, Athi stammers that she was just trying to smite a dangerous bug. Claude responds with heavy sarcasm, scolding Felix for failing to properly train the princess. Suddenly, Athi's heart wildly accelerates and she begins coughing up blood right at the tea table. Her wild, unrefined mana runs completely out of control, throwing her into severe agony. Claude loses his usual composure and demands his royal magicians heal her immediately. When the head magician claims nothing can be done for her overflowing mana, Claude coldly threatens to dismember and execute every magician in the Empire if she dies. As Athie lies unconscious, she catches glimpses of a mysterious golden-haired woman in her dreams, while Claude's inner trauma and desperate fear of losing his daughter briefly break through his icy heart. Athie finally opens her eyes to find Lucas sitting calmly by her bedside. He smugly announces that he saved her life by absorbing the wild mana that was about to explode her heart. Claude and Felix rush into the room. Overjoyed to see her father, Athie leaps out of bed and stumbles, but Claude catches her in a warm, protective embrace. When Athie tries to point out the dangerous intruder, Lucas instantly puts on a fake, frail child act. He pretends to collapse from magic exhaustion, tricking Claude and Felix into believing he is merely a talented young prodigy who sacrificed himself to save the princess. To Athie's absolute horror, she discovers she has been asleep in a coma for 48 whole days. While munching on palace snacks, Lucas secretly explains that holding Raven caused her mana to flow backward into her body. He warns her that if Claude had tried to destroy the holy beast, the sudden surge of mana would have killed her instantly. When Claude enters the room, Lucas immediately switches back to his docile, polite act. Still distrustful of the creature, Claude orders Raven to be thrown away, forcing Athie to fake extreme tiredness just to end the tense confrontation. Left alone with his sleeping daughter, Claude struggles with his dark, conflicting impulses. Seeing her face reignites the painful memories of Diana's death, filling him with a lingering urge to destroy the reminder of his loss. Yet he holds her tiny hand tightly, softly muttering "I hate you" as he chooses to stay by her side. Reaffirming her place as the true royal heir, Claude officially orders Athie's residence to be moved from the Ruby Palace to the breathtaking Emerald Palace. To keep her safe from future mana attacks, Felix suggests hiring Lucas as her official palace companion. Bored and wanting to cause chaos, Lucas snaps his fingers and teleports Athie straight through the sky. She crashes right onto a silver-haired boy lying in the grass at Duke Alpheus's estate. Panicking about trespassing, Athie quickly lies and claims she is an angel who fell from the heavens. The young boy named Ijkil blushes softly and politely addresses her as Lady Angel. Lucas snaps his fingers again, pulling Athie back to the palace. Furious at his reckless prank, Athie punches the powerful sorcerer straight in the face. Lucas stands completely dumbfounded, remarking that no one has ever dared to hit him in his entire life. Wanting to say a proper goodbye to Ijkil before he leaves for his studies abroad, Athie demands Lucas send her back. But the petty magician teleports her straight into the Duke's dusty fireplace. Gentle as always, Ijkil carefully wipes the soot off her hands. Athie attempts to test the 10-year-old on complex academic theories, only to be completely shocked when Ijkil answers every advanced question flawlessly. She realizes with awe that he truly is the genius male lead of the story. Suddenly, young Jeanette knocks on the door to see her brother. Athie quickly changes her eye color with magic and hides behind the window curtain. Lucas silently appears beside her under the curtain to spy on the scene. Observing Jeanette, Lucas notes that her mana waves are extremely bizarre. She isn't a pure imperial royal, but rather an artificial creature created through black magic. Athie remembers the original novel's history. Penelope Judith betrayed Claude for his brother Anastasius, who used dark experiments to conceive Jeanette as a weapon to surpass Claude. Driven mad by betrayal and his mother's murder, Claude seized the throne by force. Realizing how fragile her current peace is, Athie runs up to Claude and showers him with sweet hugs and kisses. Touched by her genuine affection, Claude gently holds her close, whispering that as long as she is happy, everything is fine. Years of dedicated dancing and etiquette lessons pay off as Athie grows into a graceful, charming princess, completely securing her father's devoted love. As Athanasia turns 9 years old, she asks Claude for a sweet birthday gift to bring back the maids who gave her chocolates. Happy with her affection, Claude gives her the keys to the royal treasury. As the years pass and her 14-year-old debutante ball approaches, everyone wonders who will be her first dance partner. Lucas points out that her father secretly wants to dance with her. So Athie nervously brings up the subject during tea with Claude. When Athie mentions Duke Alpheus's son Ijkil, an annoyed Lucas suddenly teleports her into the sky. She drops right into the arms of a handsome, grown-up Ijkil. Calling her his Lady Angel, Ijkil reveals he visited the place where they first met every single day, waiting to see her again. Before anything else happens, Lucas' jealousy teleports her right back. Athie finally asks Claude directly to be her debutante escort, and when he agrees, she leaps into his arms with pure joy. Guard Felix sighs in relief, glad to escape the Emperor's wrath. On the morning of her debutante ball, the maids frantically transform Athie into a glowing masterpiece. Claude arrives dressed in full imperial military regalia. and gently takes her hand, complimenting her beauty. Together, they make a breathtaking entrance into the ballroom. Overwhelmed by the huge crowd, Athie freezes in anxiety. But Claude coldly offers to force everyone to keep their heads bowed for the entire night if it makes her feel better. During their opening dance, Athie nervously steps right on Claude's foot. Claude gracefully lifts and spins her into the air, teasing her that his feet are in pain while Athie blushes in utter embarrassment. Later, Aijkil approaches her for a dance, whispering Lady Angel to show he recognized her all along. Claude orders Felix to strictly guard Athie against any pests, but when a crowd of young nobles swarms her, Athie flees to find her father. Seeing her exhausted, Claude assumes someone mistreated her and threatens to execute anyone who dared disrespect his daughter. Athie panics and hugs him tightly, shouting that she just missed him and wanted to spend time with him. Softened by her words, Claude agrees to leave the noisy ball and return home with her. But just as they walk out, a girl runs up to return Athie's dropped ribbon. Introducing herself as Jeanette Magritte. Jeanette approaches Athanasia at the ball, timidly asking if the princess has heard of her. Athanasia instantly recognizes her as the original main character, while Claude responds with a cold, mocking remark about Duke Alpheus raising her. Refusing to give Jeanette another second of his attention, Claude turns away and orders Athanasia to follow closely. Seeing a ribbon Jeanette dropped, Claude flicks it off the staircase, warning his daughter not to dirty her hands on garbage off the floor. Duke Alpheus attempts to push Jeanette onto the emperor by suggesting he would cherish additional children just the same. Claude firmly shuts him down, declaring his devotion belongs strictly to Athanasia unless she somehow splits into two. On their way back, Claude warmly congratulates Athanasia on her 14th birthday and her official debut. That night, Lucas sneaks onto Athanasia's balcony, expecting her to be crying over the day's events. Noticing traces of dark magic lingering on her clothes from the ball, Lucas absorbs the corrupt mana to keep her safe. Tucking her in with a lullaby spell, he decides to stay by her side a bit longer, finding her reactions genuinely entertaining. Meanwhile, a dark figure watches Duke Alpheus's failed scheming with quiet, sinister amusement. Following the debutante ball, invitations from high society flood into the palace. Athanasia visits Claude in his office, where he immediately dumps his state paperwork onto Felix, even casually tossing the precious royal seal into the knight's hands, just so he can spend time with her. He takes Athanasia on a peaceful boat ride across the lake. When she reaches for a pretty water flower, Claude uses magic to pull it out, accidentally revealing a bizarre tentacle monster that sends her leaping into his arms in utter terror. Later, Athanasia hosts her very first tea party for young noblewomen in the Rose Garden. The guests gossip enthusiastically about high society's handsomest figures, leaving Athanasia bewildered by Felix's terrifying battle reputation. When Lucas wanders past, the noble girls immediately swoon over his dark aesthetic, dubbing him the newest king of high society. Soon after, Claude falls asleep on the sofa, and Athanasia playfully places a pink flower behind his ear. Felix walks in and compliments the look, earning a blunt shutdown from the emperor. Before leaving for a walk, Athanasia gives Claude a sweet hug and snatches the flower back with a quick peck. Later, Athanasia enters her private library only to find Aijkil browsing the shelves inside. He leans in charmingly, asking if he may step closer. But Lucas abruptly teleports between them, glaring sternly at Aijkil and ordering him to stand down. After Aijkil politely leaves, Lucas discovers a hidden stash of romance novels Athanasia was secretly reading and mercilessly teases her. To prove he is older and taller than Aijkil, Lucas briefly transforms into his true adult form, only to drain his mana and shrink back down. At another outdoor gathering, Jeanette sits beside Athanasia under a tree. Jeanette timidly asks if the princess dislikes her. Athanasia stammers an excuse, but Jeanette tearfully admits she has always longed to become genuine friends. Touched by her vulnerability, Athanasia feels her wariness melt away. Moments later, Jeanette accidentally strays into a restricted courtyard and encounters Claude resting under the pillars. Claude fixes her with a freezing glare, warning her that he will show no mercy if she ever dares to cross his path again. Seeking relief from palace life, Athanasia complains of boredom to Lucas. With a snap of his fingers, Lucas teleports them into the vibrant city market, disguised in town outfits. He casually creates magical coins to buy endless street food, horrifying Athanasia with his illegal counterfeiting. While sitting inside a sweet shop, Aijkil and Jeanette happen to enter the same cafe. As Athanasia looks at a blue bird at a nearby stall, Aijkil approaches from behind and asks if he recognizes her.